and hit the wrong button. Welcome to Northern Kentucky, more specifically in Sparta, where nowadays the track is dormant, but this Kentucky Speedway shall play host to the Skyline Chili 100. BPNR Trucks has their third race of the season, continuing the intermediate theme. Thank you for tuning in and welcome Kaylin Babin back to the booth.
Yeah, 2 nights in a row. It's nice to be back in the booth.
Rounds qualifying's ongoing. Take a look at our point standings. After 2 races, Allison Gonzalez Green has a comfy lead after winning both races so far. Then Lau, second place, 42 points behind. Daniel Rodriguez, who is absent for tonight, third, 62 behind. Thomas Troxel and Sebastian Kukulon complete the top 5. Unlike the main cup division, this does not have a chase system, so this is just full season along with drop races. So still plenty of action left for the season, but gotta get every point possible. With happy hour, go ahead, Caleb. Sorry.
Yeah, this is now also going to be Alex's third straight pole for I think for the first time in a while I've seen somebody manage to get 3 poles in a row at 3 very different tracks.
And that's him coming off the race win yesterday. He'll line up alongside Stephen Gibson. He had to duel with him to grab that the win at Chicago. Row 2 has Landolau and William Viola, with Thomas Troxel and Minnie Minister making his debut. Skylar Den and Harry Crawford in row 4, with Ryan Scarrett and Dion Gibson, row 5, also a new debut. Noel Nichols and Sebastian Kukulon in row 6, with William Gregory and Jelaine Howell in row 7. Row 8 has Ali Sakar and Gatlin Downey. Joe Schmuda and Mattis Bells make up row 9, with William Gregory and Bill Parker in row 10. Ruby Estes pre-late entry with Matt McIntyre in row 11. Then is Ken McGillis and Murren Bell in row 12. Final 2 drivers are set lap times. Well, we have also Joshua Clements, Robbie Gilvin, and Dragons, and Ace Racer. So that'll be a 28 truck field in Sparta, Kentucky.
Yeah, slightly more than what we were expecting. I think last time I checked on the entry list, only about 12, 11 people said that they were actually going to show up. So it's pretty impressive that they managed to pulling out 28 cars for this race.
Now, a lot of viewers may have seen the detriment that was IRP, and to say that the penalty report was very hefty would be an understatement. I would personally describe it as a slaughterhouse. Only 3 people got out of that race without having a single noted incident.
Yeah, that's something that I don't think I've ever seen in my entire NR racing career. I don't think I've ever seen a penalty report as big as that one was. I remember it got brought up to me a little after the race, and the penalty report had just came out, and I looked at it in just pure horror. I mean, like there was 50 incidents.
Yeah, but biggest heavy hitters, Riley Trewick and Thomas Johnson, both of them got their race DQs and their BPNR license revoked, unfortunately. The suspension, Shagan's 5-race suspension, so apologies for that. Thinking he was racing today, he should be 27. Carl Jones is also suspended, as well as Dylan Negron. So 5 people are set to not participate even if they wanted to.
Yeah. I think it's actually a good idea for Dragons to come in and just watch how the racing goes. It's going to give them time to kind of evaluate what the competition is going to look like more, how aggressive certain drivers are going to be, because you don't really run the entire field just in one race. and especially being able to sit back and watch, you'll learn more about them than if you were just running about them.
Second, there is. Trying to pull up race results, trying to find someone that named AGG that I could mention. Landon Lau has a 2 top 5s to start the season, 3rd place at Daytona and 4th last time at Lucas Oil, IRP, whichever you want to call it. I think that's why he sits 2nd place in the points.
So are we gonna do any race picks tonight, or are we just gonna
We can
are we
we
gonna
can
just
always do it. You don't need to ask me. If you want to throw your pick out, go ahead.
Okay, absolutely. So my race pick, it is going to be William Viola today. I think Viola's gonna sneak a win away. Maybe he sneaks it underneath Alex's nose. Who knows? Maybe Alex has the mistake what we saw at Indianapolis back in BPNR Cup. We saw him make a mistake on pit road, fell all the way to the back, couldn't quite make the resistance up at the end. Maybe he does the same thing, or maybe we have a caution fest like we saw last night at BPNR Cup, Chicagoland. It all depends.
And just those 3 races, the most recent 3 BPNR races alone are just filled with bad luck. Indianapolis, he cleared himself when he was 2nd place, couldn't necessarily call back to a win. And Chicago, he got bumped out of the way, couldn't recover. Lucas Oil got bumped while battling from the lead and couldn't recover. So feel like really needs to turn things around. But I feel like with his speed, he could have a shot here. If it weren't going to be AGG as my pick, I feel like Thomas Troxel, because he ran very close behind AGG at IRP, so I feel like Thomas Troxel, if assuming that number 5 truck isn't ahead of him, he could sneak one up.
Alex still hasn't taken the grid yet.
There is a little bit of advantage to that. Get yourself some warm tires. And that's just something he does on a regular anyway. Today's race is going to be 67 laps. Do not make the joke. Going to be 2x square, and this does not feature any stage racing, so just green flag to checker flag. No extra points given out.
Sometimes I wish we had a live in-cam booth where we were like in person because I just did I did the gesture.
I would have killed you. Gonzalez Green and Gibson, we saw these two duke it out in Chicago. They'll resume as they were here at Kentucky. We're green flag racing.
Advantage to the 82 on that start so far.
Yeah, numerous people smacking off the wall off of 2 on the opening lap. Very intriguing 1.5 mile. Not necessarily symmetrical on both sides.
Oh, we will be having a restart. I was like in the back.
Yep, I see William Green, and Noel Nichols upside down.
Oh my god. Not looking not looking too good.
Trying to find them. Something must have happened. Trying to find it. Actually, I don't see a wreck. It might have just been the 2 drivers I mentioned just after the fact. I feel like it had to be a mechanical failure because what could happen is that because Lau is so lenient, he also calls a reset if someone were to have a blown gear or engine failure within the opening laps.
I mean, they said it was a two-car incident from the 13 and the 19, and that's
Hmm.
yeah. I don't know. Maybe just something we didn't really see. Probably
Yeah, I scrambled as much as I could. I just could not find anything. I do
might have
apologize.
happened. Might have happened on the exit of two more than likely.
So we'll give it one more go here as soon as the pole sitter, Alexander Gonzalez Green, grids up here. There he is.
Drivers, start your engines.
Unfortunate for Steven Gibson right there. He had a great start to the race. He got up to pole position, not pole position, first position. I'm sorry, and then restart just happened. So now he's gonna have to try to do that all over again.
Yep. Fortunate for him, as he just came back from his suspension in this division after his actions from Daytona. Going to be Gonzalez Green and Gibson at the restart zone, the non-existent one that is, waiting for the flagman, and we are going to try this again in Sparta.
More even on that restart than last time.
Already seeing a warping car, it might have been the 3 of Sakar dropping down to the
Yeah,
apron.
he's just going straight to the pits right here.
But Gibson's still hanging tough on that outside. It's going to be close here to who will lead the opening lap. Advantage to the 8-2, but the 5 is still there.
Yeah, I mean he's got to just do this right now. He's got to hope that either the five swoops up and he has to lift heavy, maybe like he just did there.
It should get him clear, and he will. Steven Gibson able to prevail on the outside. Lane Lau is going to try the outside of AGG per second.
Went a little too high right there. Had to get out of the throttle. That ended up costing him a bit of time, but he does swat in P3 right there.
Now here comes Viola. You mentioned how 99 Watchdog White. This is 74 feet of track width these drivers are having to work with. That's just one of the unique things this old Kentucky had.
Yeah, it's gonna be like one of the widest track a NASCAR ever raced on for an intermediate. I mean, probably the widest. But even with it being so wide, the groove is like so narrow. If you can go a little bit higher up and get a bit of an advantage when you're side by side, but I mean, you push that cushion a little too much, you just plow straight to the wall. That's what I've experienced racing here in the past. Not on this specific version that they may have concocted, but on other iterations of this version of Kentucky, I just noticed that it's very difficult to keep the power down if you just slide up half a groove higher than where you intend to be.
Yeah, not a lot of banking here to constrain them out. Meanwhile, side by side for fourth, it is Lanilau able to defend against Thomas Troxel.
Yeah, Troxel looks like he's just getting a bit better corner exit right there, and that's enabling him to be able to go to the inside going into T1. But it feels like Lyle kind of has a better exit of T1 every time.
Looks to be the case.
Yeah, because he exits out of one and then he just rockets out into two and he just clears them before they even get to the exit of the corner. But then here again, he just gets a run on him going into the front straightaway. Not gonna be enough this time, but still, it's impressive to see that these guys are kind of working the track two completely different ways.
Already have a lap car ready to go one lap down, that being Matt McIntyre, number 177. Nothing unusual.
The one truck nearly spun out and hit the wall while you were talking about that. He has lost a whole lot of positions. He should come out of the top 10 here. Oh, barely in the top 10. He's 10th, but he is now being hounded.
When I went back to try to find Troxel, instead I got a spinning number 20, and as soon as I say that, there's multiple spins out of 2, that being the 33 and July Howell.
Oh. And William Green ended up accidentally hitting to him.
Next to me, we are under yellow.
Yep, the caution has been thrown.
Our first one of the day in Kentucky Speedway.
Pits will be open this time. It should be a relatively quick caution.
Well, you look back live, I'm just now found Troxel got loose in entry of 3 as the car is starting to try to settle into the turn. Didn't hit the wall, but yeah, he just lost a whole heap of time. Trying to find Mites, there he is.
Unfortunately, the fleet truck right now, he's 2 laps down and he's still blinking like heavy.
As for Mantis Wells, there was a self-spin, Robbie Gilbert nearly followed them.
I think that's Ace Racer staying out again. Yep.
Tough luck for July, he was stuck 3 wide in the middle between Joshua Clemens, number 48, Thomas Troxel, number 1. The one truck washes up, and around 19 goes. Back up the track, and William Green did the best he could. And that's a self-spin also, yep.
So I'm thinking that we're gonna see Ace Racer do the same thing that he did all last night, where he stays out, he leads just one lap, goes back into the pits, and then ends up redoing the process through every caution.
Well, gotta learn one way or another about the dangers of these strategies. This is 2x rare, so effectively they have burned through 15 laps of tires already. At least prior to the pit stop.
Yeah, it is definitely very hard on the tires. He would be way slower. They will be choosing this time. I'd assume that Ace stays out.
Going to commit. Also 32, William Gregory's up here. He took only right sides on that pit stop. Not an actual choose cone to rely off of, so can be a bit messy here.
You have to treat the start finish line as their choose cone right now.
So Ace Racer, who opts to stay out, chooses the inside, and he'll have control of the restart. Steven Gibson, 4 fresh tires, lines up on the outside. Should easily prevail. William Gregory on 2 tires on the inside of Viola in row number 2. And it's Gonzalez Green and Lana Lau in row 3. Or Ace Racer can pull over. That works too.
I I don't. That just caused a lot of complications there on the restart. I don't think that was a necessarily great idea. I mean, he's
And side note, Ali Sakar, with their connection issues, has opted to retire. I believe he should be the 82 of Steven Gibson on the outside who inherits control. No, it's B32. I'm baffled with that decision, but we are back on the way.
oh, the 82 got loose behind him. He keeps it going now. 32 in the wall.
Big smack to the wall on the back. That'll be Ryan Scarrett. He keeps it straight.
Oh, Haley Crawford. Oh, William
And
Viola.
Viola again, and the bad luck continues for the 27 crew.
I believe the caution has been flown.
It has. Second one. Also, may have had a
Funnily
brain
enough, this
fart with.
kind of played into Ace Racer's hands. He led that lap. He went all the way to the back, caused a bit of a fiasco for the restart, but he did end up getting on the lead lap still. Surprisingly, I thought he was definitely not going to be on that lead lap after that whole shenanigans, but he did stay on the lead lap.
May have had brain fart with how the control was handled. Apologize. So we'll look at the contact with Viola. Got Harry Crawford to his inside. 76 hits the apron, and it's unfortunately netcode. Another tab. I believe that was Dion Gibson, number 86. And even then, there was more carnage behind the initial wreck. 92 Murray Bell loses it. William Green, nowhere to go, ends up flipping at turn 4. And McGilvery's and Phil Parker also collected in that scrap.
Tough go for all those drivers. I mean Viola especially. I mean the bad luck. We talk about in real life about how Connor Zillitz is he going to be in Funky Town or Torture City. I think William Viola had a one-way ticket to Torture City this BPNR season.
So I believe it's Landon Lau who won off pit lane, Gilbert in P2, and Skylar Den in 3rd. I have to presume, yep, quite a few people stayed out. We only did one lap, so it makes sense. Gibson, HG, and Gregory, your top 3. Counting 12 people that, or maybe 11 people that stayed out.
Yeah. Also, Ace Racer had been notified by Race Control that to not pull that strategy again, that it would only cause further issues. And if he is going to stay out, he must restart as the race control leader. But I don't think he's going to stay out after that. I think the point's been made very clear. Either restart in the lead or just go and pit with the other people.
Yeah, just... I get you want to lead laps, but ultimately... It's better, safer, given his experience, to just take the loss and pits as they're coming to the choose cone rather than peel off to the side. The lap were meant to go green. That's a complete 15 laps here of 67. It is Steven Gibson who has control of the restart. Gonzalez Green lines up to his outside, the inverse of the front row, to start the race. Sebastian Kukulon and William Gregory in row 2, Thomas Struxel and Joshua Clements row 3, Gatlin Downey and Noel Nichols in row 4, July Howell, P9, 5th car on the inside, massive rear end damage.
Yeah, I expect that 19 not to hold position right here. he stayed out with the rest of those people, but that's a pretty hefty bit of damage to try to hope to hold on to that top 10.
Control has been given, and the 82 launches off.
Yeah, great restart right there. The 5 is going to be under attack by the 45 right here, and the 45 just about gets clear. No, he doesn't get the throttle down. 5 is on the attack on the outside.
It'd be potentially in exchange for second for Sebastian Kuklan, but ultimately the 5 better on entry into turn 3. And me during that 45 washes up, allows Thomas Troxel to sneak through on the inside for third.
Yeah, I mean, that early caution really saved Troxel. He knew he spun out. He went all the way to the wall, lost all those positions. Now he finds himself up to third.
Joshua Clemens around the outside of Gregory to take over the top 5 spot. 32, may I remind you, on that first caution flag, took only right side tires.
Yeah, Clements has been using that outside line to get a bit of a run on the straightaway and then make his move into the corner. As he does right here, he goes to the inside.
We exchange for fourth potentially. Gonna remain even down the back straightaway.
He should have him right here. Yep, he's all clear. He's now going to go and hopefully attack Troxel and the wee Sweeters.
Kind of we've been seeing when people are trying to make moves on the bottom to turn 3, it ultimately works out for them because the car on the outside continues to wash up on Apex. But Gibson, as far as we've been seeing so far, has been one of the only drivers to really capitalize on the outside of 3 and 4 as we saw in the initial start.
We also have our second retirement of the day. The number 22 has pulled into the pits and has retired from the race.
And me and Mister, one of those debut drivers, unfortunately. Battle for 8th place, Captain Downey, truck number 35, up against Skylar Dan, number 13. Dan looked really good at Lucas Oil, but just could not fight his way back to the front after a poor pit stop.
And already William Viola, he is making his way through the field. He wants to get back up to that top 5. The truck looks pretty clean.
But 13 clears Downey, and Viola's gonna follow him through to move up to 9th.
Man, yeah, that 19 is just dropping like a rock right now. Unfortunately, with that race damage, he's just going to have to hope that a late race caution comes out so he can capitalize on maybe some chaos, maybe get up into a good position. But right now, that truck is probably only good enough for maybe a top 20 right now.
With that gag of all fighting for top 10 places, check back in with the front. Clements has his nose underneath Troxel for third.
Yeah, he's really been making that bottom side of 3 and 4 work. I mean, he just gets the run out of the corner so much better than the guy on the outside does. I mean, I've seen him go on the outside in T1 and then go cut back down to the inside on the exit 2, get the momentum out, get to the inside of the car ahead, and then he just shifts it into play.
Unlike Troxel attempted to perform a crossover out of 2, but the 4A simply just parked the bus on Apex. Warping car, that'll be the 83, Noel Nichols, who was having a battle with Skylar Den. They're going to be side by side for that position.
Somewhere in the back, it was reported we had a single car spin. Track is clear though, no caution.
The Ace Racer off the pit road. It might have been Mattis Bells, the number 20. Now we have a 3-car gaggle here for the lead. Gibson over AGG over Clements.
Yeah, I mean, Clements has been very efficient with his passes. He's been pretty clean, pretty fast when making passes. He usually doesn't spend a lap side by side with somebody. He usually gets a pass done either that lap or later in the lap or early in the next lap. Like, he's been pretty quick with them, but these are two very aggressive drivers in front of them. I don't know if he will. Oh, it's using newly spins. We do
Nice
have a spin in the back.
Nice catch for Gibson, and I'll try to find that spin. That'll be William Gregory.
Oh, one of the two tire gamblers. Unfortunate.
Another retirement, Ace Racer number 73.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunate, but he probably figured after he went a lap down that his race may be over. Decided to park it before he can cause any kind of incidents. I assume that he's been having a bit of difficulty. I mean, this track looks difficult to drive. We're seeing very quick drivers, very experienced drivers losing control of their trucks.
AGG goes to the lead with that mistake from Gibson. Battle for second. We got Truxell on the inside of Clements, and he's going to clear the number 48 through turn 1.
But the 48 did that crossover again.
Yeah, Truxell tries to cover him up, just a little too late. Clements gonna try to retake the position.
Yeah, that 48, I don't see anybody else able to do the crossover like he does. He is just so good at that.
Good at performing crossovers and really good at defending against them, as we saw a few laps ago. Going to get into the lead, and I had to say something about him being a good defender, as Troxel pretty much crosses him back.
I think last time Troxel realized what he did wrong and he knew how to kind of combat it again this time, but I think he's going to hang tight on the outside.
And these two battling, allowing the number 5 to pull away and reel in what was a 3-car fight, or a 4-car fight rather, for 4th place. Sebastian Kugelon leads them.
Josh shifted a bit too hard there, a bit ambitious. He's hit the wall on exit. That's going to be a huge momentum stealer. He might even lose like 2 more positions right here because of this whole battle.
Stuck on the outside, not a lot of banking here at this older variant Kentucky. There is the lap car to make it worse for him. That'd be the 20 of Mattis Wells. Saw him spin a few laps ago.
Yeah, I mean, right now, AGG is just got to be in cruise control. He just saw his fastest competitor just ahead of him nearly spin out. The guys behind him were battling really hard, using up a lot of tire. He's probably like, I'm going to go about 85% right now. Not use up that tire, don't abuse it. Get it just enough pace where I can stay ahead. And if they start chipping into my lead, then I'm going to enact the jets and just start pulling away from them.
Clemens tracks back down to 5th place after gaining by through 3 and 4, allowing Biola to move back up. Mentioned the bad luck he's been having the most 3 recent BPNR events at the contact spin Netco collision with Eddie Crawford to open up the race, but now back up to 4, still about to approach halfway here, still got at least 1 pit stop ahead of him. He could certainly make up the difference.
.177 getting lapped here. Pops the wall on exit.
Gonna have to stay out of the way here. Labeled 23rd place.
Yeah, he looks like he's just kind of having a bit of a tight car. He might have overcooked that right front tire. It would be... Oh, caution is out.
See smoke on the back straightaway. And nothing else I can really refer off, at least live. We'll check back on the replay for a third caution.
I would tab into that 19 if you can.
Ready? July Hall side by side with Robbie. 69 clips the apron, starting to lose the front end of it. Oh boy, that is a nasty flip on the back straightaway.
Yeah, that's a day ender. He knew the amount of damage he had. He just had to retire there. That is just unfortunate. Something you just don't want to ever see. You just feel like a passenger in your own truck when that happens. When you're the car on the outside, you're putting in a lot of faith on the guy on the inside not to make a mistake. Fortunately, Robbie Gilbert did make that tiny bit of an error, and he just couldn't even do anything. He couldn't keep control of the truck. He slides up, barely taps Giovanni, but in the end, that's all it took.
Yep, those two, along with Dion Gibson Jr., collected in this caution. Off the pit road, AGG, Truxel, and Ruby Estes, your top three. Ruby being a little late to the practice session, only had, I want to say, 5 minutes of track time, not including happy hour. She did win what was technically the final D2 race over at Memphis due to dubious circumstances, but a win is a win. We have reached halfway and we're under caution. Alright, gone over the top three. William Viola remains in fourth. Sebastian Kukulan P5. Steven Gibson, after his near self-spin, rockets back up to 6th place. Lanilao P7. Skyrodan in P8. Joshua Clements in 9th. And Harry Crawford completing the top 10 for retirements. That's being Julian Howell, Ace Racer, Mini Minister, and Elisa Carr. 23 trucks remain in the race. I believe everyone has been put back on a lead lap. And also, good note to Skylar Dent. They have the fastest lap of the race currently, 32.673.
Yeah, I mean, AGG's been put it up to the top spot again after the pit cycle, but I mean, he's going to be on the outside line. We don't really know what it is fully capable of. Oh man, we're having a lot of people into the back for black flags.
Yep, I believe at least 6 of them have gotten caught speeding, has to go to the rear. 35 laps are about to be completed here. The number 5 has control. Very late green flag, but we are back to racing. Three wide, they'll be for 5th place. Gibson on the outside, Sebastian Kukulon being a little greedy.
Watch out, here's William Viola. After all of the trouble he had this race, he finds himself back up to P3. He is going to be hounding these top two as they get very tight on the exit. Caution is out.
William Green and Noel Nichols and Phil Parker all stopped at top side 3 and 4. See
But yeah,
here, 3 wide into turn 3. 32, William Gregory gets loose, but it was actually the 83 on the Mount Nichols who clips Bill Parker after she got loose. Those two being parked up, and William Green also collected. That Ford truck just had no luck today.
Yeah, he just seems to be at the wrong place at the wrong time and every single caution too. I mean, that's the unfortunate bit when you're so far back in the pack is that you're in the thick of the like chaos. Most of the time, the front is usually the safest during the restarts. It's the back that usually has a lot of the issues, and it just seems like he has just been just too close to the incidents to be even given a chance to be able to avoid it.
Yeah, he had to spin, otherwise he was gonna hit the truck ahead of him, which was William Green, who had his own self spin. Or just about.
But yeah, I went quiet for a little bit because my headset desynced and I was trying to get it resynced and I couldn't.
Hmm. Just goofy headsets, I get it. Because mine's a wireless and on Windows 11 has a weird quirk where you can either have a good mic but no audio, good audio and no mic, or you have something in between. Hence the explanation on why my mic is always a bit quiet.
Yeah, you can have it's kind of like the question I always ask my guys whenever we do an endurance race. I usually ask them the question that Jay Schwatt usually asks, where he's like, "Would you ever have unlimited bacon but no games, or games unlimited games but no games?" That's pretty much Windows 11 audio right there.
Hit the juice cone, be AGG picking inside, Troxel goes outside. Viola and Clements will make up row 2, Sebastian Kukula and Landon Lau row number 3.
During that whole chaos, the 69 of Bobby Gilvin, he ended up falling out again. He's back into the field. He's going to try to get back to the back of the pack before the restart. We'll see if he's given his laps back.
Yeah, I mentioned during the cup race about his ongoing connection issues, so I don't know what it's like behind the scenes of the 69 driver, but hopefully he gets it sorted sooner than later.
If I was in that position, I think there'd be a hole in my monitor.
Well, so we're within the stint window, meaning we shouldn't be seeing any more green flag pit stops. Not that we had any to begin with. Going to be
Let's just hope we're
28.
going to the end.
Yep, 28 to go. Number 5 has control, and we're underway once again.
Yeah, no real challenge from that one truck this time. I mean, last time, huge challenge from the one truck.
Oh, big
Oh,
hit for Clements out of 2. And all that positions he gained through pit stops, all for naught. And it
yeah,
almost
and
got worse and nearly getting hit by Skylar Den through 3 and 4, sorry.
oh no, that is fine. That is the thick of the chaos right there. I was just gonna say that the one had it moved working on the 5. The 5 blocked it off, and now he's under attack by the 27.
Troxel able to defend with the momentum on the outside. Maybe it allows Zanelao to build every run, couldn't do so. And back to the top 5, Steven Gibson just made a move on Sebastian Kukulon. I saw 2 got called out in chat. No, I don't see the leader slowing down, so we're staying under green, I presume.
I'm assuming it was over William Gregory and Skywood Denon. They may. Oh, Matt McIntyre spun out
Yeah,
on his
just saw
own. One
that.
car.
Leaders have single fouled out here. Be top 6 realistically under this blanket. Be the A2. Steven Gibson peeks inside for 4th place on Land Allow.
Yeah, right now this battle for the lead again. It's very comfortable for EGG. This time though, is he pushing a bit more than he did last stint? I mean, he's setting 32.8s right now. The truck behind him also in the 32.8s. William Viola, he's in the 32.9s. Brandon Lyle, 32.8s. And then Stephen Gibson, who sits P5 after that almost spin, is setting a 32.8 as well. I think that 5 is definitely having to push way harder for that position than he did last stint.
Meanwhile, battle for 2nd. Viola has his nose underneath Truxo down the tri-oval. Gonna clear the number 1 and entry at turn 1. That Gibson was gonna have another crack at it for 4s, not close enough.
He's been really arcing these corners, trying to see if he can maneuver a bit of a run on the exits. It's been working, but he just doesn't have enough of a run to really compete. But he might have it here. He's looking inside, Wiles ships it in as deep as he can. He keeps it on the racing line. Gets tight on exit. Yep, hits the wall.
And Gibson again, not close enough to peek his nose underneath. .21 to go. Still, the lap times within the 32s. As now, Steven Gibson surges around the outside of Lau through 1 and 2 to take over 4th.
Yeah, very smart. He was waiting for Wild to get impatient, making an aggressive move on the 1. It didn't really work out for Wild. He tried to get the 1 to overdrive, but what ended up happening is the 99 underdrove the corner, having the 82 manage to send it in as hard as he could on the outside and just stick on the racing line.
And with the 27 and 1 nose to tail, Truxel having to surrender the podium place over to Gibson, they 82, working very methodically ever since his half spin to get himself back in contention for the win.
Yeah, but he's killing these tires. He just set a 32.7 that last lap. We saw at Chicago, he killed his tires. He went from 1st to, 6th in the span of 2 laps. It was a very hard 2 laps. Going from being the dominant car to being something of a top 5 car was very tough to watch there.
He doesn't seem like he wants to stop. He's going to try the outside for 2nd. He got his nose above the 27 of Viola.
Yeah, that 82 can just make the outside work way more than anybody else. He does go a bit too high on entry. It doesn't give him as much speed mid-corner, but he does get a bit of exit speed. Is he going to try the outside going in, or is he going to try to do the crossover that we've been seeing the 48 do?
Looks like it might be crossover time. It will. Gonna have this barely get to the inside here. Oh, that's tight. But Viola survives.
Ruby Estes is reporting a 2-car incident. Still clear. Caution is out now.
Ruby being one of those in number 87 truck. Take a look back. Off of turn 2, battle for 18s with William Green 4 bounces off the wall, Ruby didn't have much reaction time before hitting the 4, sending both of them spinning into the backstretch grass.
Yeah, that's what I mean about like the 4 being in these tough positions. I mean, just a simple mistake like that. He had someone directly behind him, just bumper grabbed the both of them. They went to the inside wall. I mean, this 4 just has been either getting bad luck that he's been getting involved in somebody else's messes, or he just gets a bit tight, hits the wall, and then unfortunately it just collects another car in the mess.
So pit road has opened up. Needs 16 to go under caution.
We should restart with 14 to go, very similar to what happened at Chicago last night. We restarted with 14 to go. We went green the entire way. Maybe we go green the entire way here, or maybe we just will have another Torture City moment.
First off pit road, Gonzalez green, and might have been Gibson for second. Looks like it is, and well, since we're under yellow and I don't have anything else to talk about, might as well go over to why that is. So with this being parallel, well, pretty much perpendicular, you think the line would be something like this, as you see on screen. It is not the case. You gotta actually refer off this white line, which is crooked, but that's just how the PTF is designed. That's just the common trope with these intermediate tracks, unfortunately. So, while Gibson is relatively behind the 27, if this were using game cautions, the 82 of Steven Gibson would have been scored ahead of Viola. Back live, choose cone time. AGG chooses outside of Steven Gibson. And then be Viola and Thomas Truxell, row number 2, with Lan Lau and Sebastian Kuklon, row number 3.
Yeah, a bit of a no-brainer here. I mean, AGG is just making that outside working every restart. Granted, he hasn't had the 82 on his inside on the restart. We know the 82 has been very fast, very aggressive. He holds the fastest lap of the race by over a tenth. So it's definitely going to need to be seen if we're going to see if he can battle on that inside line. I mean, we've seen Troxel try it and not really be managing to get that pace that he could to be able to get to the inside. We saw it once, but eventually the 5 did pass him back on the outside. So it is going to be a very tough battle heading into 1 and 2.
Going to restart with 14 laps to go. Point to no return is at 5 laps to go. Inverted front row here as we go into the closing stages of the race. Number 5 truck has control, and we are back on the way. Really great timing. Ooh, as soon as I say that, the 5 did back up, puts Thomas Troxel, who had an amazing restart following the 5, shovels him back.
Yeah, he was a bit too slow on that shift.
Oh,
It's a bit too
Lyle and
close.
Kukulon, there they
It's
go.
gonna be a
Big
big
wreck
one.
kind of back straight away.
Oh my god.
We got a big one at Kentucky, folks.
I think it would be simpler to list who wasn't involved in that caution. Man.
Yeah, my mouse doesn't want
And
to
through the
budge
chaos,
out.
Steven Gibson to the lead.
It's always the little things with Troxel backed up. It's set up 3 wide. Kukulon had to back down, but then the 48 Clements loses it and clips the 45 who already had land allowed to his outside. 99 Windows truck ends up flipping. Could be here all day, looking at replays. And there was even 4 wide. This is Montgomery's with falling, but he ended up getting loose on his own.
And we just heard from race control, caution free for the remainder of the race.
So that's 2 days in a row we have to resort to that, unfortunately.
Yeah, very unfortunate. I mean, that was probably the only like 2-car select we've had. Pretty much everything we've seen has been 2 cars. Okay, I thought the 82 was about to pit there, but he fakes it out. I'd assume a lot of the people involved in the wreck would pit. Yeah, there they go.
Righty, with no more cautions, and these, I'm trying to think here. Restarting with 10 to go. Yeah, that's all I had to say. Looks like 12 trucks up to stay out for what will be the final caution here. Steven Gibson, to your point, as the race leader. HG forced back to P2, Viola in third, Thomas Troxel P4, Galen Downey in top 5, one of the few lucky survivors who was directly behind it. Same with Matt Dispels. Ruby Estes, who was collected 2 cautions ago, now Dion Gibson Jr. in the top 10. In 8th place, Gregory spun out with his 2-tire call earlier and back in 9th, and Skylar Dan completes the top 10.
Yeah, as you were looking through the field, Steven Gibson was having a bit of a warp right there, but he's under control again. I think he should be fine to do this restart, but it's something definitely to keep an eye out.
So Gibson chooses inside. AGG goes outside for this choose cone. Viola and Troxel row 2. Downey and Wells in row 3. So again, it's effectively a caution cooldown for the remainder of the race, so once the green flag comes out with 10 laps to go, there will be no more cautions. Going to be round 2 here with Gibson and EGG on this front row. Saw them duking out at Chicago yesterday during the Cup race. EGG ultimately won that battle, so does Gibson win today with CTS Physics at Kentucky. He has control of the restart, and we are green flag racing.
Huge one. He already has a 2-truck advantage right there.
That's something he really needed, as now AGG is under attack from Viola.
Yeah, this is something that you would love to see as the race leader. Seeing this. Oh, they keep it going in the back. I thought that was going to be a huge wreck with all those cars hitting the wall.
Viola not able to get the speed on center through turn 3. Goes back down to 3rd place. Troxel has joined the battle.
Oh, that was a very close move. I just saw their bumpers just tap right there. Post moves like that are very risky to be pulling off here.
And now those Viola and Troxel to battle for 3rd. Gibson warps from the lead, but immediately comes down afterward. Gonzalez Green had a bit of a hiccup at that restart, but he is fighting back.
Yeah, I mean, with somebody warping like that, that is a huge concern if you're P2, because if you go to pass them and you warps like that, you're done. You're just gonna get flung to the outside wall. Your day is done. It is something that is an unfortunate byproduct of online racing. Just gotta hope that his Wi-Fi hangs on and we can have a good battle to the end.
AGG trying to pick up the throttle a bit early through the apex, rushes up a bit wide. Viola and Troxel seem to have simmered down for third, thinking of the bigger picture. 4 trucks under a blanket.
Yeah, I think Viola right now is in the same position that Jolene was yesterday. Just you don't really have anywhere to go. If like they get side by side, like you cannot make a third lane here. Like at Chicagoland, it was very difficult. At Kentucky, impossible. He's just gonna have to hope that he can fill in a gap somewhere and be able to make an advantage where somebody has an error. As they're spinning in the back.
That being William Green again. Only a single car. Not that we need yellows anymore anyway.
And unfortunate end to that race right there. That is very unfortunate. Just caught up in so much today. You know, you got to feel for him there, but at, at the end of the day, that's just how racing goes. Sometimes you're just gonna have a perfect day, no incidents, bring home the car very clean. Other days, it just feels like you're involved in every single caution.
AGG got loose in the center of 1 and 2, disrupts his momentum he would have gotten on Gibson, allows Viola to close in. This will be a battle for second.
During this whole exchange, at some point, William Viola has set the fastest lap at 32.651.
Well, now 4 to go, crunch time. If AGG has anything to go 3 in a row in BPNR trucks, he has to use it now.
I think right now he just has to hope that 82 slips up like he did earlier in the race. I think like we've been seeing Alex been picking up the throttle very early into the corner. He's burning that white front. That white front is responding for now, but eventually that white front is just gonna stop answering the throttle pickup. It's just gonna go wild tight every single time.
Gibson warps again, but that 82 folded under pressure from that number 5 earlier. But with coming to 2 to go, hopefully he has cemented that and just only look forward. Do not worry about what AGG is doing.
Yeah, we've seen it before. We've seen very last minute passes by AGG, but right now the momentum just isn't on his side. He needs to be way faster than he is right now to even think about making a move. He has to hope that 82 has his slip up somewhere, as we're going to take the 1 to go here.
Yeah, HG missed the bottom at turn 1 one more time. 1.5 miles. There is William Gregory, the lap car, or William Green rather. He pulls off to the apron.
Yeah, the right front, I think, just has stopped responding to that 5 truck. He nearly hits the wall on exit. That's costing him a lot of speed. He has very much abused those tires to try to get him to the lead.
It was AGG getting the better of Gibson yesterday. The 2 recent Cup champions do get out again, but this time it's going to be Stephen Gibson who wins in Sparta, Kentucky. And finally, someone has been able to dethrone the 5 in trucks.
Yeah, but it wasn't by much. It took pretty much everything he had to try to beat that number 5 right there.
Gibson touted as one of the more aggressive drivers in NR2003 Space got suspended after Daytona due to his aggression. Comes back after serving it at IRP, and he's going to perform his burnouts at what is nowadays a defunct Kentucky Speedway.
This is a very cool burnout. Oh, he's not done.
Once more. A well-earned victory had the mistake. He qualified second and was really the only other contender who could duke it out for the win. That's what I meant to do. Take a look at our unofficial race results, that is. Stephen Gibson, your race winner. Not much over Alexander Gonzalez Green. B. William Viola in third. Thomas Troxel in P4. B. Ruby Estes, P5. Gatlin Downey survives the carnage to keep his sixth place. Same as Mattis Bells in P7. Sebastian Kugler in P8. Ryan Scarrett in P9. And William Gregory in the top 10. We got Cam McGilvery's at 11th, Phil Parker in 12th place, Robbie Gilvin 13th, Scallerden in 14th. Harry Crawford in the top 15 with Lane Lau in 16th place. Dion Gibson Jr. P17, Noel Nichols in 18th, Matt McIntyre in 19th, and Merrin Bell in the top 20. On to the second page, we got Joe Shmuda in 21st, be Joshua Clemens in 22nd, and the final car to finish on the lap. William Green, 23rd, just got lapped at the white flag and still the final car to finish the race, with July Howell, Ace Racer, Mini Minister, and Alisa Carr retiring from the race. 27 trucks have participated. Give me a moment to set up here. Righty, welcome to Hot on the Mic. The drivers are fumed one way or another, and we are awaiting at least one of them to give their thoughts after the race. We got Phil Parker in the waiting room. Let's bring him up.
User was moved to your channel.
Phil Parker, do you got us?
I do.
Well, you got yourself in a little bit of trouble. Not of your own doing, I'm sure, but yeah, just a bit of a mess of a race overall, but you still survived out of it and got yourself a top 15.
Oh yeah, I mean it was a it was a crazy race from the start. I knew going in and this was going to be hectic, and I mean I didn't plan on getting spun as many times as I did, but I mean to be able to salvage and come back and try to get a top 15 after all of that, I mean I think I'm finally starting to not be washed again. I'm glad to finally at least be somewhat competitive.
Right? Any questions from you, Kaylin?
I mean, yeah, with the race, we saw a lot of the race leaders having issues and swerving and sliding around. I assumed that this meant that the track was very difficult, or it just had that limit that if you just overstepped a little bit, just did not forgive you at all.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like one little misstep and it could kill your race. This is one of those tracks where you really have to time everything perfectly to the T, or else it's going to kill your race. Honestly, but that was a good race overall.
Right, assuming you're able to partake next week, we head over to Heartland Park. Any expectations for that?
I just want to finish. If I can finish on the road course, I'd say I'd be fine. I'm not good at road courses particularly, but I mean, if I can do at least finish a race, I'll at least say something.
And we wish you luck on that and hopefully continue the progression of shaking off the rust, if you will. Congratulations on your top 15 tonight. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys. I hope y'all enjoyed the race from up there.
User was moved out of your channel.
I mean, did we enjoy it?
It was more entertaining than Chicagoland was,
That is true.
and apparently, from what I've heard, IRP as well. I mean, steady improvements for the truck series and the racers from last night as well. There's definitely going to need to be some more improvement in terms of trying to get that green flag racing. I mean, we've seen the promise. We saw what happened at Indy for the first half of the race. We just try to see if we can get that happening the whole time.
Yep, just the struggles of BPNR really unraveling on week 3 here. Friday, we got Budweiser Cup Series action. They go to Sonoma, California. That'll be streamed here at 8:45. Normal heads over to California Speedway, which it's still at Amazon warehouse today, but NASCAR still has some of the property. That'll be covered on Cheesefood Media, more than likely, 10 p.m. Essex, round 2 of the season, goes to Vermont, the fictional road course in the Vermont State, 11:55. Saturday, IFR goes to Homestead Miami Speedway, a really fun intermediate to watch and race on. They'll be covered on Cheesefood Media. I shall be there joining Zach. Then Sunday, Carl has their penultimate race of the season at Atlanta Motor Speedway. They'll be at 7:50. Next week, we go into September, where they'll head off to their first road course of the season, Heartland Park, Topeka, and yeah, just hopefully with the advent of road courses, they'll finally clean up their act. Any other concluding thoughts from you, Caitlin?
Overall, not a bad race, not a bad time, but also just a pretty big mess that is going to have to be sorted out. I think that once drivers start getting into the mindset that it's 67 laps today was a very long race, we didn't have to race as hard as we did for as many laps, then I think we'll have some pretty good racing. Other than that, still very entertaining when we did get the green flag laps in.
Right. Thank you, as always, for joining the booth.
Thank you for having me.
And congrats to Stevie Gibson on the race win, and good shout to Landon Lau for doing majority of the operations in BPNR. So we shall finally sign off here, and until Thursday or Friday rather, for Budweiser